guys, we're live. All right. Oh, so awesome. Okay, well, thank you for joining us. We are Lightworkers Secret to Success. And to introduce all of us, we have Adam and Pamela and myself, Amanda and Colette. And today we have the pleasure of interviewing Brenda Lainof, my good friend. She and I have been working together for about a little over a year, I think, on and off, right?
Yes.
And supporting each other on this wonderful journey that we're doing. So a little bit about Brenda before I let her tell us her fascinating story and a little bit more about what she does. But she's a pathogenic practitioner, certified body code and emotion code practitioner. She is certified purpose intuitive. She's a Reiki master, a Yuen practitioner, the balance procedure by Jennie Cox, certified angel card reader, certified self-referencing, and a Galactic light language certification. And I know all those things are like so exciting. And you and I met doing some emotion code and body code and things like that. And then we started following each other. Well, I started following you when you were doing like the light language. I was like, what is that? I was just drawn to it. And I was like, I need to be doing that. And so I've been practicing. And that's how I kind of got into light language. But I think a lot of people don't really understand what light language is and how to use it and how to apply it. And so what I want you to do is just kind of tell us how you got started. Like, how did you learn about light language and how did you get started on that road of using light language in your practices?
Wow. Many years ago, I was living on an acreage outside of my city, Calgary, and we were backing onto this massive reserve between Calgary and the foothills of Alberta. Our dog she was elderly, and I remember being on the deck with her, and I had been working with many modalities prior to that time, but all of a sudden these sounds were coming out like, I don't know what this is. Sounds kind of native. I don't know, but okay, I don't know who to talk to about it, but I'll just let it go. And it wasn't until our time, which we spent quite a bit of time in Arizona, I attended a workshop in Phoenix. And this lady from Sedona, she was speaking about light language, and I was going, well, this is cool. And then I found out a lot of people start talking to their animals. I don't know, but okay, I don't know to talk to that about.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
So it was very, very native sounding. So I guess many people start out talking to their animals, which was comforting for me. And I didn't really think I was too crazy because I've been doing energy work for years, but it was interesting. And then I finally stepped out. It's February 14th, 2018. I had a terrible accident on the ice, shattered my elbow and my right hip. On a dog park, these dogs came in from behind me. I flew up in the air and I just smashed my body. They just about lost me a surgery because my blood pressure went through the roof. And they're going, there's something else going on here. Looks like you have this pheochromatosis, which is like 1 in a million. And it looks like this is like a tumor, like the size of an orange is on your little adrenal gland, which required another surgery. Now, I didn't know if I was going to make that surgery or not. And, you know, it's interesting how that hits you like, wow, one moment at the dog park can just change your life. So it definitely did push me into, wow, I got nothing to lose at this point in my life. And if it's weird because that's how it goes. So I took my little recorder and I'm going, okay, I was scared. Like, I didn't know if I was going to make it in this next surgery because I knew they didn't know. They can't keep my blood pressure down. And it was very delicate procedure, required a special team, just like, oh my God. So I got my little recorder out and I'm going, and I just started, these sounds are coming out. And then it was this harsh, like, it felt like my mother was just smarten up and calm. It felt like that. Calm down, just take a deep breath. And I was like, okay. And I just felt so calm afterwards. And it was interesting because I was telling somebody the story just recently again. They said, well, it was your mother. Well, that's
Oh,
pretty. That was pretty. I know. I just get
yeah.
shivers about that.
Yeah.
She was just calming me down, like just take a deep breath. It's like, okay. And as it turns out, I'm here, and that I've had 3 near-death experiences. When you go through these times, it just changes you, and you go, well, what, you know, might as well go for it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just like letting it all out, and just letting the intuition come in. And now what do I do? Okay, I speak light language, and I'm going to put myself in the med bed, which is another thing in itself. Put
Yeah.
myself in the med bed, download the light language, and all these cool things are happening, and it's all real exciting. So that's my
Yes.
story.
Yay. Well, I can contest to that because you and I have done some work privately together to get me to do light language, and I've had some
Yes.
blockages, and I'm still working with those blockages. I've been doing so much with my throat chakra and doing things from past
Well, you've got a
lives. And
beautiful voice, Samantha.
oh my gosh, well, thank you. I feel so self-conscious. And so I kind of want to talk about that. Like when you're going into like light language, and I know like for us, we feel so silly, but then other people, like I post in our little group, you know, that where we support each other. People are like, oh my gosh, I love that. Like it made me cry. And I don't know how it's going to affect other people. And I know you get
No.
that same thing too. You're just like, oh my gosh, because it's coming from, it's like divine downloads, and we're just
Mm-hmm.
giving it whatever is coming out.
It
And
is.
sometimes it does sound a little silly to us, but when other people hear it, it's like exactly what they needed to hear at that moment. um
Perfect. Yeah.
so I love it, and I'm practicing because I'm being called to do it more often. I think
Mm.
Adam and I were in a call the other day, and we were actually we had a lot of demons around us, and we had to
Mm.
transmute their negative energy into good energy as a team.
Okay.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I was called to do light language and send them
Cool.
unconditional love. So I did that a little bit,
Perfect.
and it was really cool. So we did that. So I'm starting to practice a little bit more, and like I said,
Excellent.
I feel silly doing it because I'm just like, okay, but I mean, I have to do it, so I don't have a choice.
It does become that. And, you know, it's interesting when I set that group up, because I was like, hey, I'm no, you know, this is all new to me. So I set up this group called Practice Light Language.
Yeah.
I tell you, almost every day I'm getting people that are just, I heard about it, and you know, other sources obviously, but I heard about it, and
Yeah.
they just want to come in and not be judged. And nothing's
Right.
worse than when you do something and you feel
Yeah.
you're being judged. That's
Yes.
a terrible, terrible feeling. That's
I
why I
know.
went practice light language for a reason,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
non-judgmental. If you even go there,
Yeah.
I get harsh. So just like, no, just allow people to open up. And that's what it's all about.
Brenda, can you describe like light language, what it actually is or how it actually works?
Honestly, it is just letting go. There's an expression, let go, let God. And I love it, love it, love it. It's a lady that I follow who's fabulous called Judy Satori. She's in New Zealand. If you're looking to do light language, I just feel more connected to her than, I'm going to say, Jamie Price of Sedona, just her language. So her name's Judy Satori. It's letting go. I can't say, okay, I'm connecting with the galactic, blah, 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 blah. I'm just letting go because they all want a turn.
Yeah.
So I heard that expression one time. I thought that's right, because it sounds native. And then I got maybe some Oriental sound coming through, and then this gibbery, you know, and that felt like kind of a fairy energy. So it's like they're taking turns. Like when I come in, I want to speak, I want to speak, I want to speak.
Yeah.
So I'm just allowing my voice to be channeling for these beings that are here to help us out. That's what it is. And we just got to let go. I have one friend practitioner. She was saying, well, I really don't speak it, but I just find myself, you know, moving this with her hands, you know, going, perfect. And I said, well, take that and go into the med bed.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. So there's no judgment on it. I don't think of myself as an artist, yet some people, you know, they're starting to do this. It's just really letting go. And singing, oh my gosh, like with Amanda, just humming and singing. And if you're a little bit nervous about it, just go in the shower, let the shower come down, open up your chakras, and just, you know, let it all out. It's, you know, singing just feels so good.
It does.
It's as in access, no judgment, no judgment. You feel like you're getting judged, you turn it to senders, right, Colette? Like, no, none.
Well,
so if you're judging yourself,
yeah.
let it go.
And so the other day, Pamela and I and Adam were all in a meeting together, and we were working on some demons transmuting their energy together as a team. And I had to do light language, and all of a sudden I was downloaded with Amazing Grace. And of course I don't know every single word, but I know the tune, and I had to sing that to them, Amazing Grace, as they were going through a portal, because we had to close a portal.
Right. Interesting. Are you finding that there's more entities coming through lately?
Yeah, and we've been. I think Adam gets them more than I do, but we have to do them. We have to release them together, and so he's like, we get like billions, and we got limitlessness or limitless, whatever of demons, and so we had to release those, and the first time was like a portal, and we had to have them all go through the portal, and we shut the door. Then the next time it was through a vortex, because it was the first, second, and third dimension demons coming up, and
interesting.
And so those are the ones that I needed to give them unconditional love.
Isn't it true? You know, when we were taught by, I will say with the body code, we weren't told to send love.
No.
But we need to send love. And so, and I'm finding with pathogens too, just like they just need love.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And because everything's energy and everybody wants to be accepted, everybody wants love. I mean,
yeah,
that's all there is to it.
The other night when we were muscle testing and I had my pendulum, it was swinging no. And I can't even describe this, but I was looking down at my arm and I saw this giant white orb go right into my arm, and immediately the pendulum swung to yes.
Oh, isn't that?
I couldn't believe it. Like I saw this giant orb go right into my arm and it changed like that.
So this orb was a good orb, or are there bad orbs? Like, was it?
It was good for sure. It was it was an angel that was around me for sure, and it was giving me the right answer, not the demon answer that we were asking.
Oh wow! Very, very, very cool stuff.
Yeah.
So Brenda, I'm
very cool.
When you said beings, do you mean like alien beings, or do you mean like spirit beings, or?
I think we just have to let go of whatever that could be. Like I mentioned, it could be the fairies. It could be some galactic being from it's infinite. I mean, we're living this infinite universe is. So who knows? And the more that we think infinite, when we do a clearing, it's like from that very moment of conception to now, it's just, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part, is that, you know, we've been wrapped into this matrix that, you know, we think only goes so big, or it's so big we can't even wrap our minds around it. But when we start to let go of that stuff and really start to allow, right? I think is the right word, is allow that those thoughts to come into play, and to say, you know, what has been shielded in front of us, that we can only see this invisible jail that's almost in front of us. And if we get by that invisible jail, then all of a sudden things just open up to a lot more. And I think a lot of us are starting to feel that now, or at least I feel like there's a vibe that's going through this planet right now, where people are starting to break through that invisible jail, and they're starting to feel something is different, something is changing. And it's great that, you know, you're able to describe light language in a different way, and I hadn't really heard it that way before. So it's thank you for sharing that.
And it is infinite, and it gives it a different energy when there's just no boundaries. So, and I agree with you. Things are, the veils are thinning, and we're able to access information that we never thought possible before. So that's really exciting in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So Brenda, I have a question. So I'm familiar with Tamsin and
Yes.
healing, but I think probably for a lot of our viewers, it's just so different. So I would if you can just like talk a little bit about it, because I've actually had healings from Tamsin. So like I know about it, but just I think it's important for other people to know about it, that they can get healed this way. So if you can just like maybe share a little bit about it and what it is.
Sure. Well, a couple of years ago, probably maybe 2.5 years ago, I just took some certification through Tamsin. And so it really, we're dowsing is what we're doing. So it's intuiting, it's dowsing, and it's clearing the layers. So I just did a clearing today. Decided, there's some free clearings that we're allowed to give. And I gave one, there was one today. And we're not only looking as to the pathogen, but the miasm. So if it's something ancestral, then it's clearing all the ancestors as well. And I find on top of that there's always trauma involved. So it's just not clearing and dowsing out the Coxsackie B12, but what is behind that? There's always something behind it. So what I find is that when you identify, when I intuit what image comes to me and change that energy, a lot of times to love, that then changes the energy of the pathogen. Mm-hmm. And that's when I believe you get really results. So within the pathogenic work is, you can be clearing one layer and then all of a sudden, but there's all these other layers down here. So it opens up the door, and then you're going to start moving down because it can be suppressed. It's really great work. Tamsin is fabulous. Obviously, she's the king of the pathogenic world. So it's limitless where you can go with that, but we are literally dowsing, intuiting, clearing. So that's what I do, and I've been dowsing for many years. So we really wasn't a stretch at all.
What is
dowsing?
Sorry.
Pardon me.
What is dowsing? Sorry, I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's fabulous. Okay, dowsing has been around thousands of years. You could literally Google what is dowsing. Dowsing has been used for centuries you may have heard of dowsing rods when they go, where am I going to drill that water well? I just need to get that water well. And there's these dowsing rods to be like, okay, this is it, let's drill. I live in a province in Canada that's just like the Texas of the US. So it's like the oil and gas, just like originally, where are we going to go? We need, so these pioneers are coming out, drill. And it's like, okay, this is where, and it was one of, the biggest sites in Alberta. So people are still dowsing there again with these dowsing rods. So you can use your body as a pendulum as well. So, and we do this within, yes, and Amanda has one. Oh yeah, perfect. She's got the one. And I have one here. I haven't really used it a lot. It looks quite, mine looks quite nasty.
Yours
right, those.
Funny.
I have
sometimes
mine's called a bobber.
It almost chops my head off at times.
Yeah, so it's very cool. And I belong to the dowsing community here in Calgary, and dowsing is a big thing. I use it every single day in all my work. So when I'm downloading light language, I'm also dowsing for the most part. So I'm speaking light language and I'm clearing. And when I find when something's cleared, it's so common for the pendulum to stop when I'm also finished clearing, so it works together. So, and when I'm clearing, a lot of times you're going to just hear this, a sigh. So there's just so many ways that we can intermix and work with these tools, including Access, which is fabulous.
Yeah. So what's the most common pathogen that you kind of see? Is there like one that you see a lot? I know Epstein-Barr is something that just wreaks havoc for so many people.
You know, I worked with the boy. You don't realize sometimes how powerful these clearings can be. So I worked with the lady, and I did put her in the med bed, this technology, and I worked online. And she's a practitioner, so I work with many practitioners. So we're, they're testing like, oh yeah, Brenda, yes, no, and it was quite powerful for her. So it was quite powerful, and it's something that she had to wait. Wow, I can't go, I can't listen to that audio again for a while. So sometimes you really have to listen to your intuition. Well, maybe better not listen to that audio, better not jump in the med bed and listen to that light language audio for 5 days, because I'm reacting and I'm processing. So like with any of these modalities, you're just going to most likely process. You need a processing time. So yeah, Epstein-Barr virus, obviously very big if people follow the medical medium. Coxsackie is another very, very common. Oh gosh, the skin. Heavy metals is huge. That falls under the whole category of pathogens. And of course, we've got the heavy metal. We have the wonderful chemtrails that, we're taking in, all of the wonderful chemicals that are, coming down on the earth and on our plants and in our water. So you've got the heavy metals, could be within the chemtrails, within the water pipes, underground, above ground. So many areas, so many heavy metals. Obviously, we can go to the dentist. It's interesting because you can really integrate a lot of this stuff. So somebody says, Brenda, my tooth here is hurting. You can be checking, is it heavy metals? Is it related to an organ and gland? What organ and gland? Mm-hmm. There's a correlation. For example, breast cancer, root canals, and breast cancer. There's this correlation. I used to work with a cancer coach. He was a world-known cancer coach, and he unfortunately, passed away. But not a cancer, but he did pass away. And his big thing was was the mouth and cancer. So there's just so many areas that we can go, and with just releasing, the judgments, giving love, clearing the emotions, clearing the toxicities, the mental toxicities. It's like, at all levels. Mm-hmm. So it's endless. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
Are you able to describe a little bit more about the med beds? I know you had mentioned that a few times, and I know there's like physical med beds, and then there's the I don't even know how to describe the other ones.
Energetic.
Yeah, maybe that's the right word.
Yeah. Well, I came up with this idea after there was a number of us that were in a call one time, the support group.
I think I was there.
Adam. Yeah. And then somebody said, it was like Nancy, well, why can't we just connect with these like on an energetic level? And I'm going, well, why not? Yeah. So it just was created. Mm-hmm. We just, and I thought, okay, well, Brenda put up a Facebook, it was in Messenger. And it just continued. So yes, there's these med beds, and they have been created. And as we understand, being created by, ETs from what I understand. And you can definitely, find out information on, but now there's different types. There's the holographic, diagnostic, and treatment bed. There's the regeneration consort with the DNA and stem cells to regenerate old tissues, missing organs. And by the way, that adrenal gland I mentioned that they had to remove with the huge tumor. Mm-hmm. I want to create my new adrenal gland. So I haven't started yet, but the energetic imprint of the adrenal gland. you know, why not? And then
Yes.
this one, oh, ladies, we want this: regression and rejuvenation, age regression and therapy to suppress, you know, we want to get younger. And, you know, so there's all these wonderful things that we can do with the med bed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's one thing I want to mention that's really important to me. So, you know, this whole thing about, quote, hashtag save the children.
Mm-hmm.
We're all familiar with that. So I'm going, well, what do we do here? Let's put the children in the med bed. So we gathered as a group. We all did our own thing, and I do my own thing, and not everybody has to speak light language. But I said, okay, well, you know, we tested how many minutes, 8 minutes. So I laid down on my bed, my actual bed, and I get my little recorder out. And all the time I'm doing sessions, I bring in my music, healing music, usually some HZ healing music. And that really gets me in that space, laying in the med bed, calling in my angels and guides for protection within the med bed. And usually within a minute, honestly, you can feel energy moving. It's so cool. You're just like, you can start feeling the energy moving. And then it's just, you're laying there and you're just allowing. So I created a medbed audio that I'm sharing. I really would like everybody to have this, because it's not about me, it's about the children. Every time you listen to this, we all tested afterwards as a group, and we tested that it helped the children was like 4 to 8% by that one time. So if you can imagine, if we all, in our own way, it doesn't have to be my audio, but just put the children in the med beds. Mm-hmm. And this came up in a call last night, Amanda, and I missed this one particular call. But as we are ascending, so it's just not the females that have been, you know, over the years, but we're carrying in the generational imprint of abuse. So even if we're not one in the 4 that have been raped or abused this time on earth, it could be our mother, our grandmother's ancestral. Mm-hmm. So every time that we're clearing, quote, save the children, we're clearing up the more and more layers. That's going to all help us ascend, which makes total sense.
Yeah, I was in that
so
call
from what
yesterday.
I've read, yeah, I'm going to come back to that. I definitely want to listen to that. I saw the Facebook group. So every time we listen, we're helping these kids, we're helping ourselves. Mm-hmm. Helping ourselves, we're helping the kids, we're helping the world as we're ascending. Mm-hmm. This is that veil that's thinning. And because I was working with somebody the other day, a client, I'm going, she had like, oh, I know, she just couldn't eat fruit and foods. And so she's going to the naturopath, and then, you know, live on vegetables and fruit. You know, that was it. And at some point in time, that, you know, that's just not going to work. So I was going through the rabbit hole, intuiting what was going on. And then I was guided to mold, and then the mold, and then I was guided to under the ground. So she's testing. She's a very gifted practitioner. She's going, well, she was doing her job. Like, she had to feed the children, you know, they had to have food. And she was communing telepathically, giving energies to these kids. Mm. And that was her way of helping out. This was the rabbit hole we went down.
Wow.
And yeah. Amazing. And then so hopefully at some point in time she can start reintroducing the foods, but we just have to bring this stuff to the surface, you know, to that consciousness level. And then, you know, I really do think that's when the magic happens, you know, but it needs to be brought to the surface. If it's a pathogen, like, hey, there's the pathogen, it needs love, typically, or whatever that is, that, you know, we all need love. We need all unconditional love. We all want to be accepted. We don't want to be judged, and, you know, treated as an equal. So I think at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about.
Well, I think there's a flip side to that. is that not only the kids being traumatized, but also the people that are doing this to the kids. There's that side, and there's a debate that is really going on. Is what do? Do you literally kill these people, but their negative energy is still here? And how do you get rid of that? Right? How do you transmute that? Because it is such heavy energy. Or or does the healing process start now? And their karma that they've created, it's going to be some time before they can heal it. But why not start things now with these people? Why not?
Perfect.
Right? Start to, and I
agree.
It's so difficult for me because anyone harms a child, and I mean, if I felt at any way whatsoever that Trump was not doing anything for the kids and it was just made up and he wasn't going into the tunnels, I had already said that if I had to, I would sell everything and I would go and help an organization that was taking care of these kids, because knowing what I know now and what I believe to be true, I just can't let this go unless I know someone else is taking care of it and I can support it energetically in a much different way.
Yeah. Feels like you have very much of a guardian energy to you, Adam. Like this isn't your first go around about helping out the children.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting. So very much of a warrior protector energy to you. So I know. I hear you.
Yeah, like
we all want this to be true.
Yeah, I don't have kids of my own, at least yet I don't.
Right.
And but I've coached hockey here in Canada for many years. And I feel like every one of those boys that I've coached over the years, that it's like they're like my own. Like I just treat them that way.
Yeah,
I treat them with respect. Yeah. And it's difficult. Like it's not difficult for me to coach it, but it's if I knew anything happened to those boys, I would be like a mama bear.
Yeah.
Like I would be very upset.
I believe you. I believe you. It's really nice to hear that from a man, to be honest. It's refreshing. So I'm really pleased that, to have that. And of course, there's many men that feel the same way, but to vocalize that is not, it's really nice to hear that.
Pamela, did you have a question for Brenda?
Exactly. It's like it keeps going fast. But I was thinking, like when you were talking about, I know I'm a little bit slow here sometimes. The love, and one of the things I'm a theta healer, and one of the things that we do is unconditional love, and like talking about like the pathogens and stuff, because we were taught you can't go in and tell them that they're doing something harmful because they think they're doing their job.
That makes sense.
I
believe that. Yeah.
And so we just send unconditional love and thank them for doing what they're doing, and just tell them they're no longer needed. And unconditional
exactly.
love. So it's
talking at a level and talking to them, like I call you talk soul to soul level. It's like talking to them like, thank you. You did what you felt was the right thing to do. And now it's time for you to go. We give you thanks. We send you love. We send you on your way, and just sending love. And as we know, it's the highest vibration. So, it's all we're working on a very similar level. All these modalities. It really is.
It's nice to have so many in your toolbox. It's not just one thing.
It is.
And so. And like just in my own little story, how I started with one thing and I just been adding to my toolbox, like, I need to know that, and I need to know that, and
I know it's never ending.
It's never ending. It's
never ending. And you're thinking, well, light language, what's beyond that? I don't know. But I'm sure there will be something.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, because it feels so infinite to me. But but maybe there's things you do with it. Like in the med bed, like that's how I've been working, or like it's just, infinite how we can help people. And
so Brenda, one of our things is we're all light workers here, and and the people here are in my mastermind. This is my mastermind. And so we get together and we support each other with our different goals and dreams and all these things that we want to manifest and create. So if you, we just want to know, like, what are you trying to manifest and envision for 2021? Because I mean, 2020 has been pretty rough on all of us. So in our group, we want to look past right now and just like, okay, the future is brighter. And what does that look like? So what does that look like for Brenda? What is 2021 looking like for you?
Well, I'm going to be, I just set up, Amanda, and it's the process of being set up. I'll be doing YouTube videos, and I can envision myself teaching and clearing pathogens with light language. It's endless where you could go with it. And but I'm also a very good coach, and I love to empower people. And you know, I don't know everything, but I bring in my tools, and have, where people are comfortable, and give them some tools to work with. And I'm very good at finding out what are the underlying root issues that are blocking you from getting those results. So if I'm guided that there was some post-traumatic stress, or there's some whatever on emotional level, psychological, and so on, then that's where I go. And it's teaching people, which is very good with the emotion code, when I can teach them to do the sway test. So you're empowering them. They can start working on their kids, on their pets, and just create their own, circles. So it's continue to be a coach. And as I'm learning, I'm sharing the information like what you're doing. And I don't know what else to say. It's that continual empowerment, empowering others.
Yeah, I love it, because I think everyone here is on that
same with this right. And with the COVID, for example, so many of us are not able to go to certain functions. Now in Calgary, with virtually, you can do different presentations. So maybe maybe you do a night of dowsing, the dowsing community, or it's just really thinking outside of the box as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, I get ideas almost daily, and then I get kind of scattered. I did create a program, which I am excited about. So it's to help people in their businesses. I came out of working 30 years corporate. That's a big chunk of your life. And I've lived internationally in Kazakhstan and Bolivia, and spent time in the United States and different, British Columbia, Alberta, obviously here. Around the pandemic time, and this is cool because I don't know where it came from. Well, it came from Divine, but it was like, I woke up one day, I was going, I'm going to create 21-day light language for abundant business. It's like, where did this come from? So I did. I started this. It was a beta test. So if you're trying to figure out something, get that beta test. So I did the beta test. Okay, you guys, here's day one. I got the music. I got the affirmation. I love bringing in the perfect client. Your body goes, no, you don't. Yeah. Okay, you listen to the download from creator. Listen. Could take 5-10 times, and it could be, oh my gosh, yeah, I can feel it. Yeah. So with this 21 affirmations, 21 downloads, it just opens up your mind. And now I have this on my website, which I then have incorporated into packages when I'm on teleseminar. And it's great. So with the 21-day light language abundant business, it's not like, if I listen to this, I'll make $5,000 this month. That's not the intention. The intention is to being open, and how Doreen Virtue would say, if I just see the sign here, and it's like allowing whatever information needs to come through, and you get an idea, an inspiration. So that's what it's all about. And it could be a relationship. Maybe it's your business as to your relationship, not just like a business. You could have a passive income. I got a passive income, and I want to get that going. And You know, so there's different ways that you can work with the 21-day light language abundant business. So I have that on my website, and it's extremely reasonable. And you
Can
work
you
at your own
share-
pace. You might go,
I'm sorry. Can you share with us your web page so other people can find you? Because I was part of that beta testing. And I'm telling you guys, it was amazing. It was
yeah,
very
you
phenomenal.
were. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, I've have it now set up under BrendaLainof.com.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just under my name, BrendaLainof.com. And when you go to that, then you'll see like language is one thing at the top. So my intention for 2021 is to create more light language and then to cross-reference. So the YouTube is related to the links, you know, you're linking and cross-referencing all the time. So it's never ending with this social media where we can go. But I think it'd be fun. I would like to reach the business community, but typically they're going to be very closed. I actually had at it's Alberta Treasury Branch here. I actually did 3 different presentations at a bank, which is, I'm surprised they even have me there. But they're looking for entrepreneurs. I was going, okay. So I applied and I got people up there and I'm testing and then and people in the bank, they get to work there, they're going around watching and you know the interest is there, but they just can't really say anything. And I was invited back and maybe, I don't know what's happening with this COVID, but it gradually we can reach business. I was hoping to really hit some major companies, for example, in Calgary with the business, but I don't know if they'll ever be open, especially now when you've got people working at home. And I don't know, it's a huge area and I'm not too sure, but there's so many possibilities of where we could go with things. There really is.
Brenda, what are you envisioning for like 2021, like business wise? Like there's been so many people that, you know, have been out of work and not been working, relying on government checks to come through. You know, I have a good feeling on what's going to happen with COVID. You know, I said shortly after the election, I think it'll be gone or not talked about and, you know, sort of be in the distant past. If something like that were to happen, like how do you sort of see the economy sort of moving in 2021? How do you see the politics and the Black Lives Matter and sort of all this turbulent stuff? Do you see it escalating or do you see it just sort of dropping off at that point?
Well, I think we're talking about different countries here. So if we're talking about Donald Trump in the US, who I happened to be at a rally in 2016, you guys, as a Canadian, I saw him. It was so exciting. It's just like, let's go to this rally in Mesa. I don't know, it's not Canadian. I'm just going to show up. And it was the coolest thing. I think we're looking at different dynamics in Canada. I don't want to get too much into Canadian politics. I'm not too hopeful. And I really hope that what happens shortly, I'm hoping in the US will have a domino effect here. Right now, what I'm seeing in Canada is getting more and more concerning. For example, my province just popped up on Facebook. Oh no, now there's restrictions of 15 people. Like they're just getting really pressured by the World Health Organization, the agenda, you know, this is what's going to happen. I don't know. To be really honest, I'm not terribly confident right at this moment. I don't know. I don't get a gut feel as to what's going to happen. I wish I could say, oh yes, I think it's going to go away. I don't get the feeling. And I'm just being very, very honest. So what I see is that we're going to have to reach out like this, which you guys are doing, which is awesome. Reach out with our communities and get the word out and just continue with this. This is it. You know, they're getting tighter and tighter controls. I really do hope. That depends who if Donald Trump gets in. It really does. And we're all watching, you know, with bated breath. We watch as much U.S. politics as the American does, so it really affects us what we do here in Canada tremendously, and U.S. needs Canada. So it's a situation where both really need one another, and we need to work together. So I want to be very, very hopeful, and that's all I can say. I don't want to be forced to any vaccination. And all I can say, if that was a situation, is that we'll work on an energetic level to clear any of the toxicity and trauma. So again, in groups like this, maybe you just take in a number of people and clear out the fears. It's bringing up a lot of fears right now. So I don't know what else to say. We just have to continue at this pace and do what you guys are doing. Have your groups, and I think it's great what you're doing.
If you were to make a prediction on who was going to win the election, who would you pick?
Oh, I would love to. What I'm sensing, and it was interesting, I don't know if you guys watched the movie Social Media on Netflix. Have you seen it? It just came out. So this is the bottom line, is that Facebook, as we know, does the algorithms, and they're going, oh, here's their demographics, and this is the news you're going to watch, and this is the news you're going to watch, and that's how it is. So it's so divided. It's so sad. It's so divided, more so in the United States. It's bad here, but really in the United States, there's so much evil. I don't know, and I don't know how much they can manipulate the algorithms or however that works at the voting polls. Like, I don't know. So I just think all of us just like sending love and light to Donald Trump. Is that, we need him. He's already helped. I can see where Donald Trump wants to do a railway from Anchorage, bring it across the top of British Columbia, down Alberta into Fort McMurray. What's that all about? Oh, it's because our own prime minister is destroying us. When you're having a leader of another country, but then it's to his advantage to have us, we got the water, the resources, the oil and gas that were purposely kept under the ground. So it's true that everybody's advantage be working together. So I'm really hoping, and the world's really hoping that he gets in here November the 3rd, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're watching.
3rd or 4th, I don't know. Well,
I used to be on Donald Trump's mailing list, and then darn it, I went off of it. But as a Canadian, it was it wouldn't matter anyways. But it's kind of fun to be on his mailing list.
Kind of nice just to follow what he's doing and saying.
Yeah.
Vegas, they don't have any shows right now. And I saw a sign.
I know you were there.
I saw a sign.
What kind of a sign
shows
did you
coming
get?
back November 6th. I said, oh, that's convenient. 2 days after elections.
Did you get a good deal in Vegas? You must have got wouldn't you get a good deal?
Yeah. I got a great deal.
See, we could fly, but then, I don't know how that, you got to stay in the room for 2 weeks. So I guess that wouldn't be too much fun.
Oh, yeah.
We can fly and say, don't you drive. Don't you go across that border. It's too dangerous.
It's too dangerous.
Too dangerous.
Well, my client told me today that the whole top of the United States is shutting down because of COVID. And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard
top of the United States. What's that
like
mean?
The whole top.
What does that mean?
States. Like all the states on the top is all.
Oh, they just make up this stuff.
And I'm like,
it's incredible.
Yeah. So it's always fascinating to me what is being portrayed on the news and what people are listening to. And that's how I find out my information. It's usually from my clients because they're telling me, because it scares them.
Well, and who you're following. And it's unfortunate, you know. I mean, for example, I used to follow CNN. I mean, when we lived in Bolivia, that was my only channel, was CNN. That was it, you know, for any type of news whatsoever. So yeah, you rely on that, and if you're getting not fed all the true information, so I give him so much credit. I just give him so much credit, and yeah, he's not a politician, but I just you know, we're all so intuitive, and you can just see the lies just oozing out, and it's like, world, don't you see this? Like, you know, wake up. Can you not see this? And what is
Friday
that,
nights,
you know?
On Friday nights, we usually do a topic, our group here. And a couple Fridays ago, we talked about how much we see on social media of hatred for just, I mean, even Donald Trump or whatever. And it's like, gosh, I mean, and we're all empathic, and it hurts us to the heart. I mean, even if people are hating Joe Biden, it would still be the same thing, right? It's not like, but just to have all this hate for one person that you really don't even know, it's like, gosh. So we had a whole talk about that a few weeks ago. That was a pretty good conversation.
Well, in this country though, too, and will say, believe me, I have very strong opinions about RPM. And it may not, you know, Adam, you're from Ontario, you may not agree, you know, so we have our own divisions. So there's some pretty strong emotions happening here. Believe me.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you, Brenda. Don't worry.
I thought you did, but
I was never a Trudeau fan. And I said, when they got Harris out, I'm like, that is the biggest mistake we've ever made. We were the only country in the world that came out of the financial crisis in 2008 with nothing. Like, nothing happened to Canadians. And that was all because of his leadership. And, you know, when they decided to vote Trudeau in, and I said to anyone that voted him, you guys just made a huge mistake.
Yeah. We will see, and we'll see what's in those books or whatever on.
It's going to be interesting if he was actually voted in, or was he just placed in a position?
He was placed.
Yeah, this is it. It goes back. We've been really fooled, and you know, I did react quite strongly about the whole China thing, and it just really triggered me. You know, in our group, I got really triggered. So
was that today?
No, that was about
2
to 3 weeks ago. I got really triggered.
I must have missed
about China bringing in, you know, are they bringing in Canada, bringing in the troops from China to invade U.S.? I'm going,
in Vancouver, because that's like an
They're
hour
like
away from
32
me.
million people, and like you guys are what, 300 million? Like, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah,
I don't know how that. What did you get from that, Adam? From that whole thing?
I thought it was just a joke. I mean, I'm like, come on, guys. Like, really? Honestly, like, we're not seeing.
Like, do you realize how many people are in Canada? We cannot attack you. It's impossible.
Yeah, like, it's just, and like, and the fact that they're bringing Chinese troops in and they're stationed all over come on, like, honestly.
Oh, Salt Lake. They're going to be, hey, I'm going to be going to Salt Island.
Where's that?
In next month.
Where's Salt
Next
Island?
month, I'm going to go see if the Chinese are there, if the troops are there.
Is
it's an island
Vancouver?
just off of Vancouver. Yeah, just off Vancouver Island. Go visit.
You got to tell me when you're going to be there. I'll come.
Salt Spring Island.
I'm going to write it down.
You got to take a ferry.
Yeah, no.
Salt Spring Island.
I don't know. Every time I muscle test to see if the Chinese are here, I always get a no, they're not.
Well, I was wondering about that. Has anyone seen that?
No.
Or is it just pictures?
Is it more? See, this is more of the division. That's why I reacted. Oh, let's get now the Americans mad at the Canadians. I was like, really, you guys? Yeah. We don't have the manpower to possibly invade Montana.
Yeah.
We can't even go to, we can't even overtake Montana. So yeah, not to worry.
Oh God.
Brenda, as like a pathogen or body code person, I mean, what do you think about COVID, right? Because you can just clear people. right? Like,
I haven't had anybody come to me with COVID. I would imagine, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's
but
the
I mean,
flu.
does like disease
I would
you?
I would think so. I would think so. Pardon me.
Like, does disease scare you? Like, would you shut
No.
down an entire world
No.
over a pathogen?
No. I refuse to be in fear because of this.
Yeah.
I refuse to be in fear. I try to walk around without a mask as much as possible. I can feel the tenseness building, not to tell you, because they're putting the fear of God into people. So I was in it's called Save On, it's a grocery store. I was in there yesterday, but my husband's ahead of me, so I feel a little bit protected. So I'm pushing the cart and he's got his mask on and he's waiting for anybody to say anything to me. Like he's raising that mood, you know? And and so, but nobody did. Was I ever getting the looks more than I've ever received? It's really intensified. And I really felt it. And it's hard because I hate being controlled.
Me too.
You know, and that's why I'm still alive today, because I refused to give in to what happened, you know, like all those 3 times my soul was refused. So, you know, I was just thinking a really good cause would be to clear all the trauma from being captive.
Yeah.
You know, we have any ancestral lineage of being where we're imprisoned for whatever reason. We're imprisoned underground, above ground, any and all ancestors, any and all planets, universes. I'm glad tingling here. So, you know, we can
we do it now?
I think this is really important. What do you want to do?
I know, I'm feeling the energy.
Yeah, I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it right now, all together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been like tingling like up and down my spine almost this entire call. So.
I've been having like chills all like the whole time. So I'm like, something major is about to happen.
Wow, so. That whole being, boy, does that trigger me. Oh man. And you know, I mean, I think I've tested out going back to the Nazi camps, but I'm sure that, you know, many of this has been many other times, but
yeah. I mean, even back to Egypt. You know, I mean,
whatever.
Like the Egyptians, and you know, they were
all that.
Anyways, yeah.
And this country was founded on slavery. I mean, the U.S. was founded on slaves coming over to like build things. I was telling someone today,
yeah.
Like the U.S. is stolen land founded by slaves and outcasts, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think about it with the Chinese. They brought in the Chinese were the ones that built the railroad in Canada.
Oh.
I think they were put into some camps too. Isn't that, Adam? They were put into some camps in World War II.
Was it the Chinese? I think it was
Japanese,
wasn't it?
Japanese.
Or Japanese. Oh, sorry, Japanese. The Japanese. That makes sense.
We still have Japanese. The concentration camps in Seattle, up in Magnolia. They're still there. The barracks are still there. It's
wow.
Yeah. And I had no idea.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty. I was like,
wow, that's so crazy.
Sad. And that was not that long ago.
No, I have a friend who's Polish, and she said when they were little, they used to go play in Auschwitz, you know, like in the camp, they go in the beds and bounce around. I mean, can you imagine? Like, it's just incredible. Yeah.
And it just seems like things are twisted, right? Because of the trauma, people think they're being protected when they're actually being they're
being traumatized.
And so, let's just clear all of that.
Let's clear it all. Only because I feel like it's major. We need, and I feel like all of us here are so powerful, and I feel it feels really heavy.
Building up.
And I want to cry because I'm just like,
yeah, me too. Like, it's really pissing me off, you know, like, how dare you, you know, like, whew.
And that's why we chose to come here right now. You know, we chose to connect.
It still sucks though.
It sucks. It does suck. It does.
It sucks at times.
Yep, it does.
I know.
But we have the tools to work together.
Yes, we do.
I also think that, you know, it doesn't suck. And here's the reason why it doesn't. Is because without this, it never would have changed.
That's true too.
People would have never ascended. People would have never really woken up to really see what was going on around them. And I've got to say that I have a friend who's a nurse. When COVID first broke out, she had a nervous breakdown and had to, take a step away from her job. And I was posting all these things on Facebook about the hoax and this and that. And she basically unfriended me and told me that I have to unfriend you because I can't even stand you in my presence right now. And just the other day, I saw her at the hockey rink, and I walked up to her and I gave her a hug. And I said, listen, it doesn't matter if you unfriended me or not. I'm going to speak my truth on what I believe it to be, even if it's not in alignment with you. And she even said to me, admitting, this is complete bullshit. We can't do this. We can't do this. We can't do this. And here was a person that was so opposed to everything I was saying earlier. Now, because of all the masks and because of all the stuff that they're doing, whether they realize it or not, they are waking up a sleeping giant.
Yes.
And this is great. This is great for us.
It is.
Yeah, keep pushing harder, because you know what? It is just waking up the masses right now. And this is exactly what you don't want. And this is what's happening. And that's why I'm grateful for this. And this is why, wearing the mask, I mean, I'm like you. I get outside and I rip my mask off. I have all these hockey parents around that still have their masks on, and I'm like, just take off your mask. You're outside. Like, what does it matter anymore? Like, right? So, like,
yeah. The best is when I was going by Orange Theory, and you can see the guy's got a mask on a treadmill. I'm going, really?
Oh gosh.
Really?
But they have to in order to stay open. You have to have it on.
No, he pays to be there, to be on the treadmill. It's not the guys who own it.
Yeah.
No, he's working out.
Not in our province. We're allowed to go into gyms with masks. We just have to bring our own cleaning material and our own clean towel.
Yeah, no, it's all the same, but I'm just saying he felt so fearful that he had to have his mask on. Nobody's telling him to put a mask on. That was his choice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's his choice.
People are driving in their cars by themselves with their
mask and gloves.
I know.
And I just look at them like,
So I'm just feeling like it's like Stockholm syndrome.
It
right?
is. Yeah.
Like we feel like we have to defend the people because they're protecting us, right? Isn't that like what Stockholm syndrome people do? They're like, I'm doing this because I care about you. No one else cares about you like I do. So I want you to wear this mask, and I want you to follow all of these ridiculous rules. So it's like I'm clearing all of this, and it's so strong.
Well, it is. And how much energy is it taking from? It took energy for me to do that yesterday in the grocery store, and yet part of me was quite liberated. I'm thinking, I'm breathing, but I'll do this according to how I'm feeling. If I feel like I can't handle the glares, then I'm just going to put it on because I can't deal with it today. So I'm not this warrior all the time. I'm defiant, I'll do it. At least I'm doing it. Unlike a lot of people that won't,
I've always been a rebel.
Pamela's a warrior.
I'm a rebel
she
too.
Never wears her mask.
We're probably
anywhere where you have to, huh, Pamela?
There's a few places that they will not let you in the door. If you walk in the door with that one, they offer to sell you one. So we have them right here if you don't have one. So those places I don't even go in.
Yeah.
If I need something from there, my heart will go in and get it for me.
Well, the thing is if you're allergic, like I'm allergic to elastic. So the other day I was wearing this mask on my face I got from Costco because I thought, well, if we have to wear these, then maybe I should get a couple. And it was just like a month ago that I finally broke down and bought 4-pack. It was like $9.99. And I put them on, and I usually use those cheapy ones when I go into work, just in the hallways. And I had this black one on, and I was breathing, and every time I breathe in, it would suffocate me. And I was like, oh my God, like I was freaking out because I started almost having like a panic attack because I do not like anything on my face, anything on my neck. I just can't handle it. And then the elastic.
And if you
Oh, I was gonna say the
Yeah.
elastic broke my ear out. I had this huge hive. I was like itching. I
Oh,
was like,
jeez.
why is my ear itching so bad? And then I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, there's a huge hive on my ear. But see, if I go into like a store without a mask, they're not gonna understand that I have an allergic reaction to the face
They
mask.
don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes them feel uncomfortable because you're doing something if you don't wear a mask that they want to do, but they're scared of confrontation.
Yeah.
So it puts it in their face. Oh, I want to do what that person's doing, but I don't want to deal with it. And I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Being rascals.
all right. So do we want to do some clearing on being held captive for the collective?
Yeah.
We can all get our
clearing
pendulums
for like
out.
10 minutes. I don't know about you.
I know. I saw you. I thought, oh gosh, poor Colette is over there. I know. So, and I've been yawning, so I'm already processing the energy.
Yep.
So,
Me
in my
too.
Do you want me to download light language as we do this?
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Okay. All right. So do you want to, Amanda, reiterate what we're doing and then I'll download?
Yeah. So we're going to release the trauma from us and all past generations and the collective who have been held captive. That's, it's kind of being pushed in our face right now. And so what a blessing this is going to be able to remove that from the collective and then be able for us to ascend. Because if we're feeling captive, how can we ascend?
Exactly.
Right? So, I'm excited. So yes. Okay. We ready?
Okay, so we're going to call on assistance from Creator, and we're asking to please help all of our group here to clear on a collective level all those times we've been held captive, being held down against our will, and any and all levels, throughout time, space, and all directions now to infinite. So please help us here on earth and below the ground, above the ground, those who are transitioning, to release their fears and those who have transitioned. Ashana hiata banaya koka shai. Anana hiata koka inoko shai. Ahiata anonayoko. Ishakapokiata. Anaya hiata. Anaya hohiata. Hiesha. Anana yehoko. Eshiana nabakiata kaka. Yekoko shabaposhana. Anana babakshana kaniata. Yokogayahi, Ananayahia, Okogayashasa, Huya, Anahia, Anokokai, Hai Shadakahea, Hoi, Hayanaya, Kokogieta, Ayahianaya, Kokoya, Anaya Haya Sokokoyeta Kayeta. Yanakaya, Hayanaka, Shokokoya, Papahieta, Ohia Shana, Sanashiana, Ahiana, Hohoya, Asaya, Ohiana, Ohiaka Papakshanaya, Papakshanada, Ushuka, Anakayata, Ohuka, Inana, Shekia, Ohoyata, Yena, Ohyata, Shenaya. See, like I hear na ho, you boko ya ha, I na hear tai, oh, yeah, see, and I hear ta, I na ya high, I na ya ho, ya shake the die, oh, ya na ya no, ya. Ya na ya ho ya yo ya na ya logo ya shake it okay ta ya na ya shaka ya na ya na ya shake ya na yo ya ta sure ya na pokia toko yo soto shana papakiana ay sheleka ya kahyaka ya shana ya ta yo ya na ya And giving our gratitude to Creator for helping clear all this collective fear and memories with all our memory banks, held at a cellular level and etheric level, all levels known, unknown. Ashai lakieta, anana yahieta, ohoya, anana hieta, oho shishatai, asai leka, ohoyata. Aneadaya Hoshetnai Hyeta Shesakayako.
Did anyone else get visions of like going from like cage to cage, like getting kids out of the cages? Like that's what I was envisioning, like dark tunnels. And I'm like, come on, you gotta go, you gotta go. Like it was like urgent. So I almost started crying. I was like, come on, get out.
I was just seeing more of the people that are extremely fearful of not taking off their masks, and just letting them know that it's okay, it's not going to harm you. That's what really, I mean, people driving especially, that I could tell that were very nervous and didn't know what was going to happen, and that's what I kept getting.
How's everyone feeling?
Yeah, for me, it was just intense energy moving, just like intense, like heaviness, like that feeling of being held down and being suffocated and being controlled and thinking like, oh, I deserve this, or this is how it's supposed to be, like the normalization of control and just clearing all of it, you know, and just releasing all of it for the collective. So that was freaking intense. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I had so much energy going through my head and coming out. It was just like, I was so dizzy in the very beginning. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I had flashbacks of like being a kid and being stuck under the covers. And I was like, let me out. And, you know, the person that was doing it wouldn't let me out because they thought it was so funny, and it wasn't at all. And so, yeah. Oh.
It's amazing because it's like the other thing that people don't really think of is like it's been scientifically proven that you need something like 7 hugs a day. And so all these people who don't have someone in their family who's in the home with them for that physical contact, and how much that's depriving them as well, that trauma. So to me, this was like we were relieving some of that, so we weren't able to do the physical heal as the hug, but there was that energetically being able to reach out and just connect with people and to heal that way as well.
My pendulum never twirls like yours does. Mine was like spinning like so fast and so hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a lot in my back. Like I had a lot of energy in my back, just releasing. It was like, it was funny. I was like almost like pulling stuff out of my back.
Good.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, Brenda, thank you so much for being with us this evening. We appreciate you. We love you. I love your work. And I just, we appreciate you so much. And we just want everyone to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to bring more people like Brenda on here and get more healing and get word, get the word out that we can do things together as a collective in small groups. And actually you can heal the collective, just yourself, if you're guided to do so. And I think all of us here can help with that as well. So I just thank you so much for coming on today. Was there anything else, any last tidbits you wanted to say?
Well, I'm just thinking it would be really good. We all have Facebook groups, so sometime we can arrange and we can have you all come in to a Zoom call and share it within my Facebook group. And that's the way that, and just continue, the flow.
Can they be invited to the to our private messenger? Can I add them to that one for just supporting?
That support one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. I don't, that's, as long as it runs and we don't get shut down.
Yeah. Okay. I'll add them. If you want, Adam's already in there, but Pamela and Colette, if you would like to be in there, I'll add you guys. It's just, it's nice to have support. And really,
well, it is, and anything goes. So if you see some swearing or, it's just like I throw things in, and it could something maybe it's kind of silly, or it could be U.S. politics, American, UK, whatever. Yeah. It's just a place to put stuff that we just don't feel comfortable posting on our own Facebook groups. Like and not getting censored, because I've got censored and it's becoming more so.
Yeah. Well, and then also we muscle test. Like, what'd you guys get for this? Do you guys get that this is 100% true, or is this 50% true, or so it's kind of nice to have a it's like you're not trying to figure it all out yourself. People can kind of
absolutely
we're all getting information from each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just I'll open it up, Amanda, so that you're able to bring in people. I just have myself there, and you don't know how these things go.
I know.
Yeah. So I'll open it up, and if you want to bring people, I don't care. Whoever people don't like it, they don't need to listen or watch or whatever. We're free will. So
you have a Facebook group?
I have many. I don't know if you want. I
honestly do. People,
okay. Well, I've got this one, and I administer. It's not so much for people to promote their own stuff, but if I am working with people, if I'm interviewing, then that's the one that I have one called. So it's called Healing the Healers and Healing Healers Pathogenics. So then I have the messenger group that goes with Healing Healers Pathogenics. So that's where I did this one pathogen clearing today. And we have a list from Tamsin that we can give out for free. So I thought, well, maybe, every, Monday I'll do free pathogen just to get people to clear. It's remote. You don't know, I just say, okay, I'm done, drink your water. And so that's, a lot of people are practitioners. And then I have practice light language. So if you're interested in just seeing how different people speak it or sign or sing or whatever, it's called practice light language. So that's another one that, people can look into. And let's see what else. Awakened. Well, those are the main ones. So, practice light language.
And you also have the MedBed one too, don't you?
Well, I do. I kept it kind of small, but I don't want to get that too big. And we're just, it's everybody, contribute. This isn't. I just created the space, so it's called the MedBed group. So, we're all just, whatever. So the Healing the Healers is where I administer, and this is where I promote my own work. If I'm interviewing Healing Healers Pathogenics, again, it's mine. And if I, it could be anything on a virus or whatever. Practice light language, hey, post something. You want to, again, whatever that is for you. And the med bed group that's open. If you have an audio you want to download, or, I will be working on creating a new adrenal gland.
Yay.
So it's pretty bizarre, but
well,
then
I'm going to create a new gallbladder.
Oh, are you? We should create our glands the same time.
Yeah. I'm tired of not having a gallbladder.
And then we can check, did it grow 1.1% or 3% or, but somebody said, well, Brenda, just do the energetic imprint. It doesn't have to be the actual adrenal gland. I'm going, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
And then, but what's really important is that the one that they had to take out, well, I had a lot of genetic stuff in there. So they actually had me in genetic testing because it's 1 in a million people to find this pheochromatosis. I happen to be alive. It's usually found in an autopsy. So they're gathering data so they can, train their own medical people. So I had to have people go in and go, okay, Brenda, this is the past life or genetic, blah, blah, blah. Make sure the existing adrenal gland's good. So you don't want to replicate,
the bad ones.
You want to get clear of all the trauma, blah, 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 which makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we put it in that dimension. So what dimension do I go to?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the 12th dimension. Yeah. And then a lot of the time it's literally only minutes. Like really, it's only minutes. You can be, I only need to go, and you can feel it. Mm-hmm. Like there's times lately, because it's getting more and more intense when you work with it. We'll all be laying down, I'm in bed, and I'm just feeling like I'm already downloading it, not knowing I'm downloading. Mm-hmm. That makes any sense?
Yep.
I think it's just as we're ascending or whatever. So
yeah,
let's experiment with it and, place ourselves in and do whatever. If you want to do access, you want to do whatever, it doesn't matter. There's no judgment on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know we've kept you way past longer
I
than we
appreciate
needed.
it.
No, longest interview ever.
I know, but I love
it. It was so good. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys, and we'll see you again.
Yes,
and
for sure.
I'll bring. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Brenda.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.